Hello and welcome back. In this lesson, we'll use our newly completed authentication system to shape the behavior of our app. First, we'll work on the view template. Before we do that, I have a rough guideline here of items that I've noted, which we can refer back to as we need, because it is a good amount of behavior that we want to impact in this lesson. So let's go ahead and work on our view templates. Okay. First, I'll pull up our navigation. So I'll make sure the server's running. It is, and okay. So we're going to work on the navigation level, okay? So let's pull this up. So I don't want to do anything to our first two links, but if logged in, then new recipe. Okay, that's fine. But right after this, I want to have some kind of toggle menu here. If I'm logged in, I want it to show the user's name or the chef's name, and then I want the ability to toggle and then go to their profile page or their edit profile page, and then log out, etc. So let's go ahead and build that. First thing I'm going to give it is UL class nav item. Okay. And then I want to give it a li class of dropdown. And then I want to give this a link to, and this is all Twitter Bootstrap, so don't worry about understanding how this works too much. You don't have to memorize it. You could just refer to Twitter Bootstrap's documentation anytime you need to look it up. Class button default, button danger, drop down toggle. And then data toggle. Drop down. Okay. Now I want this to show the chef name. And if you remember from our application controller, we have current user that's available to our views. So we're going to use that right now. Now, since we're logged in, we have this condition that says if logged in, we're kind of guaranteeing that we have a current user. Okay, so let's build that. Current user dot chef name. And then I want to give it a caret, so b class caret. Okay, let me just check my code a little bit. Make sure I didn't make any errors. Okay, that looks right. Okay, right under this, I'm actually going to make some room here because these are things I'll get rid of, so I'll move them down. Okay, so here I want a UL class of drop down menu, and then list out the items. So first one, I want to be a link to the view profile page. And then I want to go to the current user show page. Okay, the next item, I want to link to the edit profile page. Actually, this path is going to be, let me just do rake routes real quick. Edit chef path. Okay, so it's going to be edit chef path, then the chef object, which is current user. Okay, then I want to give it a divider. Then I want to show the logout path. Link to logout. Logout path. Okay, so then close the UL, LI, UL, perfect. So all this will happen if the user is logged in, okay? Now we want an else condition. What if the user is not logged in? We want a login link, right? So I'll give it a div class of nav item. And then link to login, and then login path. I'll give it a class. It's the standard that we've been using. Default button success. Okay, now close out the condition. And all right, so that should be it. So we can just get rid of this from here to the end. Okay, so let's see what that did. Okay, so change the color of our login button. So let's click on it, see what happens. Okay, I'm gonna log in as Bob and then password. Okay, so straight off the bat, we see some things going on. We see the new recipe, which is showing up, which is good. And we can see it's going to the recipe's new path. So that's working. Now here, if I click on it, I can see the links that I just created, the view profile, edit profile, and logout. So let's just test them out. So here's the view profile, which is good. Here's the edit profile page, so that's good, and it's picking up the right user. And then if I log out, perfect, logged out, gone to the home page, and then I have my login link. Right, perfect. All right. So that completes the navigation for now. Okay, now let's work with the recipes views. So let's start with show. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I only want to allow users to edit or chefs to edit their own recipes, right? So I don't want to show this link, edit this recipe, not edit this recipe, I'm sorry. Oh, that's correct. I don't want to show this link for editing the recipe if the logged in user is not the creator of the recipe. Okay, so let's go ahead and implement that. So right here, I want to say if I want to check if the user is logged in, and I have a recipe instance variable here, so recipe.chef equals, double equals is a comparison. You know, it's basically comparing if it's equal current user. So if the user is logged in and recipes chef, meaning the chef who created the recipe, is the current logged in user, then show this path. Otherwise, don't. So that's what this is doing. Okay, so let's see what that did. So first, I'm in logged out state, so I'll just view this recipe. So I see there's no link for edit recipe, right? Now let me log in. bob@example.com. Password. Let's try that again. Notice how the edit this recipe is not there because this was not created by Bob. This recipe was created by Mashur. Okay, now let's log in as Mashur and see what happens. Okay, we got an error. So what is this error saying? Invalid hash in logins controller create action. And if you look at the params, you see the email, but you see the password filtered. There's something going on with the password. That's what it looks like. And it's highlighting this param's password. So let's hop into Rails console and see what's going on. Chef find by email Mashur. Okay, notice what's going on here. Password digest is nil. So this chef or user was created before we had built our authentication system and added the password digest column. So when we added it, it basically has a nil value. Now this is a warning sign, right? We basically need to ensure now all of our users have passwords. So if I do chef.password equals password. Okay, now chef.save. Okay, so now we see that our user has a password, right? So we have to make sure from after authentication system is done that you have passwords for every user. So I'm going to do something like this. Now I see our first user Bob has a password digest. That's good. Our second chef or user has password digest. Okay, it looks like all the rest of our chefs have password digest, so we should be good to go right now. So let me reload this page and see what happens. Continue. Okay, see, it worked and I'm logged in. Right, perfect. Now if I go to a recipe that I created, notice how that this recipe path shows up. Okay, All right. But here's the thing. I did that from the view, right? I basically checked for if the current user was the creator, and that's how I basically did the validation, and it showed me an error saying, okay, you can only edit your own path. You can only edit your own recipe, right? The link did show up or did not based on who the current user is. Now, I'm logged in as Mashur. If I go to this and I see that I'm not able to get the edit this recipe link. However, from the URL, if I type this in, notice how I'm able to get this page still. Okay, now that's not good. And that is something which we're going to fix next, which is we're going to have to enforce these rules from the controllers itself, from the chef controller and then the recipes controller. Somehow we have to enforce them here.